Hello, welcome to the show and the live. It's Monday morning in Australia. That means it's a Merry Monday Mailcall Show. Welcome, everyone. Today is a Bronze Age day, and we're going to be sharing some Bronze Age books with you. Again, probably not too many keys, but I think you're going to get a kick out of all of these. So I thought I'd just spread a bit of Bronze Age love because everyone's talking about modern comics nowadays. Everyone's got the FOMO. I haven't got the FOMO. I've got the Bronze Age GOMO. Anyway, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. As I say, it's nice to have you all with us. Let's see who's in the chat. Okay, wow. Busy. Okay, so we have the toy box. First, hoping I don't actually miss this one in the past two live streams. Well, welcome if you're here. You already arrived, and there you are. Yes, thank goodness for the alarm. Great to see you. Welcome to the show. Christina's here. Christina Payne, YouTube moderator extraordinaire. So thank you very much for joining, Christina. We have Glenn Simpson. Of course, you're going to be here for Bronze Age. I'm relying on you, Glenn, in case I stumble in terms of some of these books. I will swear that I will get this right at some point. Di Grazia Testamente. I think that's right. Di Grazia Testamente from Denmark. Welcome again. Always a pleasure to see you. It's been a pleasure. And Tales from My Spinneret. Gary's here. Hello, Gary. All the way over there on the West Coast. Good to see you too. Looking forward to catching up with you at Heroes. And Kari, please tell me if that's correct. I will remember, Kari. Thank you. So yeah, busy one today. Before we get started, though, I did want to share some changes. So we have had a couple of new members join, and I've made a couple of decisions in terms of how we're going to change the membership up a little bit. So for those of you who don't know, we've just launched the price variance, which is our membership tier. And essentially all the money goes to the Hero Initiative. The Hero Initiative, my understanding, is there at Heroes Con in a couple of weeks' time. So I'll be catching up with them and sharing the current proceeds that we've raised with them. But one of the big changes that we've made is that we have been doing a whole bunch of bullpen interviews. So we've been doing creator interviews. So we've had Al Milgram, we've had Roy Thomas, and most recently we had Ken Landgraf. So we've just launched that video as members only, but we're going to switch it up because I think these interviews need to be deserved to be seen. So we're going to make those early member preview videos. So basically, if you remember, you're going to get 2 weeks or a week, well, however long we think, in terms of getting access to those videos. Then we'll open it up to everyone because we think it's useful that everyone gets to see those. We are still going to be having the Mega Members Mail Call Show. That's a monthly members only live stream that will be coming out next week, along with our Back to the Drawing Board, which is open to everybody, but members get an exclusive sketch giveaway. So this week's winner, or this month's winner, was Rob Fatstacks, who still hasn't told me what he wants for his character. So I'll be following up this week, and we will be drawing that probably over the weekend, and everyone will be able to enter if you are a member, and you'll get one of those free sketches. A number of the members have already had one. Brian LCS has had one. I think Izzyverse has had one, and so has Cliff on Comics, and they've received them. So I'm very happy to have them go out. And obviously, whoever's in the membership and is going to Heroes, you'll be able to get hand delivered. But I did want to also shout out 2 of our new members, Chris the Comic Vet and Mike Washburn. So thank you all for taking part and being part of the price variance. So maybe I should go and open this camera and show you some of these books. But before we do that, let's just quickly check in on the chat on anyone else who's joined. So John, JSS Brooklyn, is here. Good evening, sir. Welcome with your new, shiny, brand new blue wrench. Second Best Bob is here. Good evening to you, sir. And I believe Mr. Richard Westfall is here too. So I have quite the party tonight, or this morning. So thank you very much. And Christina is obviously dropping those links as always. So thank you all. So let's just switch to that camera and give you a sense of what I've got. And we'll talk through it. We're going to do it a little differently today. What I'm planning to do is, if you see a book and you want to dive inside, more than happy to crack them open so we can have a look. There's a number of books here that I'm trying to sort of fill runs, so you'll get a real sense of them as we go through and what I'm collecting. But let's bring it to the stage. Let's make it big. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. That's the right one. And that's the right camera. There you go. All right, so we'll start things off, and these are all alphabetical, by the way. We'll start things off with Avengers. So this is Avengers 145, the Gil Kane cover. You can barely notice it's a Gil Kane cover because there is very minimal up-the-nose shots from Mr. Kane himself. You can always recognize a Gil Kane cover. I think the only one here that really does show the up-the-nose is our friend Vision, but even now it's a little bit muted for a Gil Kane cover. So I'm assuming that Atkins inked over that in an interesting manner. But yes, I wanted to pick this one up. As I say, I'm trying to complete the Avengers run slowly but surely, not rushing at it. And again, these are all high grade, and that is always my challenge with these books, is that I'm slow and deliberate. Always have to get them in as high a grade as possible to flesh out the collection. So, Glenn Simpson, Avengers 145, non-Perez fill-in from that George Perez run. It's funny you should say that, sir. It is indeed a non-Perez cover, a non-Perez fill-in book. But I do have a 194, which I've always loved this cover. This is a Perez cover with the Vision and Joe Castor on it. Fabulous cover from him there. I think Joe Rubenstein on inks as well. And this comes after the Taskmaster storyline. So fabulous to see. But yes, George Perez. Again, I think this later part of the run, up to 100 and up to 200, it was a sort of mix between Perez and our man John Byrne. So I really wanted to flesh this out. And as I say, this was missing for some unknown reason from the collection. So I've added it now. So that's a good one to add to the mix. Mr. Bo is here. Friend from Aussieverse. A member for 4 months as well. Congratulations, Bo. That's awesome. And Captain UK. I always remember, and this is the one for Captain UK. I always remember, good morning to you, by the way. I always remember this in the Mighty World of Marvel comic, where they were reprinting this. This was my first exposure to this. So it's always interesting because I'm used to bigger covers. It's always interesting seeing covers that I've grown up with in that UK style in smaller format. So I do love the juxtaposition between the two types of books. Again, there's not too much in the way of key issues here, but a lot of run filler. So this is issue 47 of Captain Marvel, where Marvel battles the Sentry Sinister, and if he falls, can Earth survive? Guest starring the Human Torch, who doesn't guest star on this cover. Sadly, the light in here today is not I'm not having a lot of fun with it. I'm trying to angle it so you can get to see. There you go. So yeah, issue 47, great cover. Al Milgram there, drawing that. I am always surprised by Al's covers. He is can be hit and miss. This one's pretty impressive. And as I say, Al, it just depends on the day with him. I particularly think he suffered through his Secret Wars 2 era. But when he's doing his covers, he can really get some great detail and some great covers. So fabulous, pick that one up, issue 47. Another one. Let me just check the comments before we move on, because our friends in the chat are obviously giving us some history lessons outside of me. Second best Bob. I bought 190. I have 194. Bought off the shelf. Yeah, very red, so low grade. Low grade is better than no grade, as they say. So I'd be more than happy to have a reader copy. And it's funny, I was reading 2 issues last night of my reader copies of issue 149 and 150 of Iron Man, because I was sorting out my Heroes Con books. And those 2 are John Romita Jr. with Bob Layton on inks. And so I was reading those in preparation because I'm going to be taking those to get signed at Heroes. And then Captain UK, yes, agreed. It's always nice to have the American and UK versions side by side. Yes, it is exactly one of the things that I love doing is picking up the original book and then the UK one side by side. There will be a video coming in the near future on Secret Wars and the differences between the 2 books. And I've done that in a live show before, but I haven't done a full deep dive. So I will be doing that and give everyone a sense of the differences between the 2 and what, I think people who haven't understood or appreciated or seen the UK books, they'll find that particularly interesting. So I agree with you. It's we're in a sort of lucky position that we're able to do that. Captain Marvel 55, got that as a subscription as a kid. Thought I was buying Shazam. He's not Shazam, is he? No, but that's absolutely fine. And what else do we have? I have those stars and arms of Captain Marvel. I call them Jim Starlin stars. Oh, perfect. And Vincent's here as well. Good morning or good afternoon to you, Vincent. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat. So then Captain Marvel 55, the Doom named Death Grip. Again, another beautiful cover there. I need to lean it that way. That's the best way so everyone can see. Not my usual wheelhouse, this one. But for some reason, I'm getting into Conan. It started with the still only 35 cents books, but I'm picking up Conan's now as well. I never thought I would. I wasn't really ever into your man Conan, but here I am with some Conan books. And again, I saw this as an opportunity, minty fresh. This one was from John at Bronze and Modern Gods. He had that up for sale, so I just thought I'd grab it on an off chance, give it a bit of a read. Curse of the Golden Skull. Glenn Simpson, issue 55 is indeed a Pat Broderick cover with Bob McLeod on inks. So yeah, fabulous cover, that one. This one's a great cover as well for the Conan book. But then we get into our man, the Hulk, Mr. Bruce Banner. Hulk has teamed up with the Abomination. This is issue 196, 2 Against the World, with Doc Samson in the front and Thunderbolt Ross. So the 2 teaming up. So fantastic. Unfortunately, I have to say goodbye to our friend Second Best Bob, as it's late in England. But yes, it's great to see you, Bob, and we'll see you again soon. So yeah, 196. Only one issue of the Hulk there. This one's interesting for you. So Jack Kirby, absolute joy. This is the Machine Man. He's self-titled. Previously, he'd first appeared in 2001. I think there was a 3-issue run as X-51, but then reborn as Machine Man, and in his own title. I have issue 1 somewhere, but I picked up 2 copies of Machine Man number 2. Why I did that, I don't know, but I did. What we might do, ladies and gentlemen, is give this away to someone in the chat. How's that? Let's do that. So I've got 2. Before I do give them away, though, one thing of note, and I will zoom in here for you all. On these, as you can probably see on the rock, there's a mark. One of them has a color breaking crease next to the mark, but that mark is consistent on both books. So I'd be interested if anyone else has a copy of Machine Man issue 2. Is that a manufacturing issue? Because I've never seen 2 books with exactly the same mark in exactly the same place. So one would assume that is a manufacturing issue. But great to pick it up regardless. But we are going to give it away. I'm going to set it up now. Just quickly, StreamYard giveaway. There's a lot of you in the chat, so we will give this a go. StreamYard's giveaway tool. Let's see. Open the giveaway page. So let's have a look. Could be spinner rack damage from Richard. Let's just bring that one up. It could be spinner rack damage, but I'd be amazed. These are from 2 different people. So one's from John at Bronze and Modern Gods. One's from Dave and Rachel at Future Past Vintage Collectibles. I find it bizarre that they should be in the same spinner rack. If so, that would be unbelievably crazy. But we'll see. So I'm about to set up the giveaway. And I think you can guess the tag, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let's bring it up for everyone to see. Let's see. Where is it? Share screen. Giveaway tool. There we have it. Right. Machine Man, it is your giveaway. Put your entries in. Love to give one of these away this evening. And again, if anyone who's in Heroes will get hand delivered. If not, we will post it anywhere in the world. So by all means, we've got 1 entry with Richard so far, and there are a number of you in the chat. There's at least 9 of you in the chat. So get your entries in. There's Christina. But looking forward to giving this away. I think a little bit of Jack Kirby in the morning for anyone is a fabulous little addition to the collection. And issue 2 goes to one of our lucky viewers today. We've got 3 entries. I'm going to give this another couple of minutes. Looks like a manufacturing fault to me. Let's just show that. Looks like a manufacturing fault to me. Too much of a coincidence. I'd agree. And so I will need to do a little digging on that one. I suspect it is a manufacturing issue on a batch of books potentially where they went through the print run and sort of tore or sort of marked the paint. But we'll see. 3 entries. Is that all we're going to have? 3 entries? You have to be serious. Come along, ladies and gentlemen. Put your Machine Man hashtag in and win yourself a book. It's not often I do a giveaway, so I thought I'd do one today, especially as I had an extra copy. So throw it in the mix. I'm going to give it another minute, and then we'll let it go. Whilst we're doing that, there we go. 4 entries now. While we are doing that, so remember, Machine Man hashtag in the chat to be able to grab a chance at that book. So let's bring the main view back up again. There it is. So that's that issue 2. And then another Kirby Machine Man for issue 4. So happy to pick that one up. I will remember. Oh, there we go. We've got 5 Machine Man. Captain UK, you have to have it all one word, I'm afraid. Not so you've not registered, so I would love to have you in there. And then, yes, if you can re-enter that, then I'll make the draw with 9 of you in. Let's just add this back to stage. So Machine Man, for anyone who's watching, watching the live, there you go. JSS is in. Let's see if Captain UK can update his tag, and then he'll be popped in as well. And then we'll go back to the books. There's a number to go through today. There he is. There he is. Okay. I think it's time to draw. So good luck, everybody. Sorry for those of you who missed out. I think I did give everyone enough chance. Let's give it a go. Who will win? Will it be someone at Heroes? Will it be someone in the UK? Who knows? It's Richard. Congratulations, sir. You win the lovely Machine Man issue 2. So congratulations to you. Fabulous win. I will get that off to you as soon as possible. Oh, Ben. Ben. Welcome to the show, Ben. Unfortunately, you're a little too late on that, but sorry, apologies, but welcome to the show. All right, let's get this off the screen. Congratulations again, Richard. Go back to the books. Star Wars, Carmen Infantino cover with Terry Austin on inks. Always liked this cover. Just a very, very... let me just stop this screen. There you go. I can see you a lot better now. Always liked this cover. And I think that's zipper tone in the background to get that effect. But yeah, always loved Carmen Infantino. Depending on if Terry Austin was inking him, I always felt his art was fantastic. I mean, Terry Austin had this way with making characters really punch out. So fabulous stuff. Been picking up these Star Wars wherever I can. So that's Star Wars issue 14. And again, this is a good example of Carmen Infantino with a different inker. Bob Wycheck in this instance over Carmen Infantino. But this is, from memory, Vance the Bounty Hunter. Now, when I was a kid, I used to draw Vance. This is pre-Terminator days as well. Because if you look, Vance is very similar to the Terminator. So yeah, I wanted to get this because I had the first appearance, which I think is issue 16 of Star Wars, with that Walt Simonson cover and the introduction of the character. But this is where he faces off against Vader in issue 29. So it'd be good to see at some point that famous robot-hating bounty hunter come to the fore in the Star Wars universe. But who knows? Who knows? After Andor, which I thoroughly enjoyed, I really hope they stay in the direction of actually keeping a lot of Star Wars a bit more serious. So all good. Back to the Bronze Age. We've got a Pollard cover here on issue 286. So this is a bit of a run of Thor that I picked up. Again, all decent quality copies. The problem with the Thor run at this point, it was pretty lame and was languishing somewhat. But still, wanted to grab these from 1979, sort of. So this is issue 286, Pollard and Milgram on the cover. We've got a 287, again with Pollard on the cover, but this time inked by Bob Layton. Again, pretty dynamic looking cover there with the Eternals joining him. Not sure who's drawn this. Who could that be? For Fury of the Forgotten Heroes. So that's 288. I think that's John Buscema, or maybe Sal. I think it's John, actually. This is John at 289, issue 289. This one, Bob Layton on inks for sure, but Keith on the art. Odin and Zeus side by side with the Eternals and Thor. So 291. Missing 290, bizarrely. And then Keith and Bob Layton again. Thor being bashed by his father Odin. It's a great looking cover there on issue 292. And again, you don't, as I say, very interesting, beautiful Thor covers. You hardly ever see them online, so they're not key. Exactly. And when I saw them, you know, the stories may not have been amazing or just really, really memorable. But yeah, I mean, always a decent Thor cover. And so probably unrecognized part of this run. And then you've got 293, again, following on with those great covers. I mean, that one's pretty impressive, as you can see. 268 is Pollard and Layton, Dave. 268, it is Pollard and Layton. 288, Pollard and Layton. There you go. JSS Brooklyn in the house, giving me the handy history tips. I had a feeling, but I didn't want to call it because there's no name on there. But it's certainly, you can certainly tell it's Leighton inks because he used Zippertone. You can see the use of Zippertone on Thor's helmet there. Let's just zoom in so you can see that a little bit clearer. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of Zippertone on there. But yes, now that you mention it, John, JSS, I definitely agree, or definitely recognize Bob Leighton work. Leighton fixed everything. Absolutely, he did. Leighton and Terry Austin fixed everything, I think. They were the mainstays, particularly in the Bronze Age. And talking of Mr. Leighton, this great cover, which I assume is a giant behind there, and Thor trying to hold back what's behind that door with Pollard and Leighton on the art. Got another great cover here for $2.94, again by Pollard, but beautiful. At last revealed the awesome origin of Odin. More Pollard for you, $2.95. Suddenly the Storm Giants and the beginning of the quest for the Ring of Power. Maybe a new MacGuffin for Marvel. Again, as was highlighted by our friend earlier, these covers are, underrated in my mind. I mean, I'm going through them now. I'm like very pleased to have them in the collection. Again, Pollard cover here looks stunning. Another Pollard cover for $2.97. Great. Thor wielding a sword. His outfit looking a little bit different. The Sword of Siegfried. This one is always a good one. Again, another Pollard cover with Thor battling a dragon. And then to close us out on the Mighty Thors, issue 299, Thor and Valkyrie. And again, another Pollard cover. So, that's the first batch for you, ladies and gentlemen. The second batch is a whole bunch of some of my favorite books, and I've done videos on this in the past. This is Marvel 2-in-1. Whole bunch of Marvel 2-in-1s. Do you still want a run of Watchmen? How about V for Vendetta and League of Ordinary Gentlemen? Well, the toy box. I have the full set of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I have all of those. V for Vendetta, I have all of those, including the Warrior magazines as well. So the Warrior magazines, bit of history on that. The Warrior magazines, what they did is they finished the story. They didn't finish the story in Warrior. They did, however, finish the story in the US edition. So yeah, I'm lucky enough to have both of those. So the Watchmen is the run I'm missing. I think I'm missing, of the 12 issues, I'm missing 10. But yes, the V for Vendetta and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen I do have and have locked in. Marvel 2-in-1. So we'll start off with Marvel 2-in-1 Annual 5, which is the Thing and the Hulk. This is a Kupperberg and Joe Sinnott cover, When the Stranger Comes to Call. I love these books. Love picking them up whenever I can. This one is a particularly good one for me. Ed Hannigan and John Byrne with Rom the Space Knight featuring alongside the Thing. This one I had to pick up, given my love of Rom, and a great cover to boot. Just beautiful stuff from Ed Hannigan and John Byrne there. Not a creative team you would usually see, and it's always interesting to see John Byrne on inks. And you can see it's sort of telltale style in terms of how he's treated the Thing there. And again, I think this was at the period where John had taken on the Fantastic Four. So I think he was a little bit protective of the Thing, given that he had the title running. We got issue 89 with Alan Cupperbird cover. The last words. This one I always like. This is Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and Sandman having a beer together, with the return of the Impossible Man. And again, I think this is a Ron Wilson. Yep, Ron Wilson cover. As you can see here, he's very cleverly. Let's just get that in. Oh, where are we going? Where are we going? There you go. Ron and Chick. Very cleverly put that in there as one of the bottles. Issue 79. Ron Wilson again on the cover art. Like that one with introducing the Star Dancer. Clearly a spec book for everybody here. What was the line here? Elusive ROM issue that couldn't be reprinted. Yes, that's usually the case with ROM books. And that's the thing. So I think there's a Power Man and Iron Fist with ROM as well, which usually can't be reprinted because I think it's Hasbro that have the rights to ROM. Everything else in the ROM title is owned by Marvel, with exception to its main character, ROM. So anytime there's a run, Marvel are unable to reprint the books. So you won't see a Marvel 2-in-1 this issue. So if you can find this one, as I say, the ROM issues where he crosses over, always tricky to find because they don't get reprinted generally. We've got a few other new people that have joined the chat since then. Let's have a quick look. Brian LCS is here. Hello, Brian. Really good to see you. Looking forward to catching up at Heroes. See you soon. Let's just switch this off. So issue 79 with Star Dancer, key issue, as you can know. I mean, everyone's specking on Star Dancer's first appearance. So yeah, great to see that. Issue 78 with Wonder Man. Great cover there. Again, Ron Wilson. Got a Bingham cover here. So this is issue 76 with The Thing and Iceman, also featuring Giant Man, and presenting Ringmaster in his Circus of Crime. It's a great one there. Issue 75, double-sized issue with the Avengers joining the fray. And again, one of these boxes where they've obviously adapted the artwork here to sort of put the faces along. I'm a little surprised. This must have been a phase for Marvel because there was an Avengers book similarly in this era where they had all the faces down the side. So maybe that was a new thing for them. Instead of the corner box, they made the whole side of the issue the corner box. It'd be interesting if they ever do that again. Looks really good. But yes, special double-sized issue. And again, all of these are super high grade. Then we've got a Christmas issue, which doesn't look very Christmassy to me. Poor old thing's getting bashed to pieces alongside the Puppet Master here. So obviously his Christmas plans have gone awry, but I do quite like this beautiful thing with a Christmas hat on top. I mean, that's the only piece that does feel like a Christmas issue to me. The rest of it is a little bit doesn't really work as a Christmas issue, but that's certainly the thing in a Christmas hat is very Christmassy and may get pulled out for my Christmas special. Glenn Simpson, the editor worried kids wouldn't know who was all in the book. Yes, I think that was the case for that and that Avengers issue. So great to see. And contentious point, but perhaps true. The Thing is Jewish, celebrating Christmas. So very interesting juxtaposition there as well. Issue 72, Ron Wilson cover again, The Thing and the Inhumans. Love these covers. I mean, they are fantastic. Issue 71, The Thing and Mr. Fantastic. Wouldn't really say that that's a great 2-in-1 in this issue. You'd almost argue that this should have been called The Fantastic 2. But no, it's The Thing and Mr. Fantastic in 2-in-1, issue 71. Issue 70, The Thing and Who Knows. I thought I saw the last of these creeps long ago, but I was wrong. Great cover there. Shall we find out who the mystery person is? I'll put that to one side. We might do that. Issue 69, another Ron Wilson cover with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So great to see that against the fog. This one's an interesting one. Ron Wilson, inked by Simons. And yeah, interesting look to that one, but a great cover nonetheless. The Thing and Angel. Angel getting aggressive with his sword there. And the Thing realized in a very strange way. Yeah, interesting inking style there. The Thing and Hyperion, so the Ron Wilson and Joe Sinnott. And I think Tundra is at the bottom there as well. Let me get that in the light so you can see that. The battle you've all been waiting for. I don't remember waiting for it, but nonetheless, I'm always happy to have a Tundra and Hyperion battle. Glenn Simpson. So many characters discovered in Marvel Handbook and then later went and got their first appearances. Yes, I agree. The Toys R Us ad is this one. Yes, the stupid Toys R Us ad. You see, I don't even see them. So it's a funny one. Both of these, I don't dislike them, but I don't like them. Interesting to hear if everyone else what they think of those ads. I see them as part of the charm of the books at the time, but they went across the entire run from memory. And again, if someone in the UK, you couldn't win these things anyway. You can only win them if you're based in the US. So I hate that ad and the bike ad. Yes. Anyway, that's good. And I agree with you, John. I did that too. It's like find out a character in the official handbook of the Marvel Universe and then go and dig those books out. I'm not sure from memory, and I should know. Did they feature the first issue in the stats? I would assume so. You would hope so. But good to check. This one is a George Perez cover, ladies and gentlemen. Inked by Terry Austin, of all people. So a classic cover here with the Thing and Scarlet Witch. Look at the detail on the snakes coming out of the Serpent Crown affair. Then you've got another Perez one here with the Thing and Marvel's latest and greatest superstar, the Aquarian, the last of the Project Pegasus storyline, which is probably the most significant part of the Marvel 2-in-1 run. So lovely to have that. And again, a George Perez cover. Not as busy or as detailed as his usual stuff, but still a great rendering of all of those characters. Again, inked by Terry Austin. We got a 41 of Marvel 2-in-1. So getting earlier in the runs here. Most of the issues that I need are either very at the end of the run, in the sort of late 80s and 90s, or very early. So I'm now starting to get into the early ones. So this is issue 41 featuring Brother Voodoo alongside the Thing. Not a still only 35 cents, but a still only 25 cents. This is the Thing and Mobius. Love this one with the Return of the Living Eraser. Great use of the eraser space here, where you see the characters disappearing against the backdrop. Love that. It is morbing time, Glenn. Absolutely morbing time. You've got to have a bit of morbing. And then, Glenn Simpson also later learned about the movie Thomas Crown Affair and got the Serpent Crown Affair title. Really? Interesting. So That's a fascinating one. I would be surprised if Marvel copied it, or I'm assuming you might be talking about your own interpretation of it. But yes, when I read that, the Serpent Crown affair, you sort of think it mixed with that movie. Marvel 2-in-1, issue 11, with the Thing and the Golem. And again, great cover there. Getting super early now. Another one of Thing and Thor in the Pawns of the Puppet Master, issue 9. But the one that I did get is this Marvel feature issue 12, which is really the first issue of Marvel 2-in-1 before it became Marvel 2-in-1. And again, features the Blood Brothers and Iron Man. So carry on of that story from Iron Man 55, their parent Blood Brothers appearance back again. But I thought you would get a kick out of seeing this. So as I say, a little bit of history for that is Marvel feature was essentially the start. This issue was essentially start of Marvel 2-in-1. So if you get chance, always try and pick up the Marvel features with the Thing and Iron Man, because these are the original starting points for Marvel 2-in-1. So that's it for this week. Getting ready for Heroes, as mentioned. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening. I'm going through books one by one. I had a bit of a heart attack last night. Could not find one of my books that I am getting signed by all of the teams at Heroes Con. So I managed to find that. But I'll be doing a video over I think the next one will probably start thinking about what I'm going to be submitting for Heroes Con and giving you a bit of an update on Heroes Con. For those of you who didn't see, I was on Ryan Colossus Collector's stream over the weekend when we were talking about Heroes Con with a whole bunch of different YouTubers. So if you haven't had a chance, please head over to Ryan Colossus Collector's channel to check that out. I think you'd get a kick out of it. For those of you who've never been to Heroes before, there's some good advice and some great conversation. So it was all fun. It's been a pleasure hosting you all. Congratulations to Richard for winning the giveaway. Might do a couple more of these. And yes, we've got a few. One of the other things that is interesting, and we just had this comment. I would love to hear you talk about Bronze Age romance series from Marvel. You might get your wish, as I have a whole bunch of these to share with you. There's 6 boxes from the CGC submissions I did at WonderCon. They're all back. One of those is Bronze Age Marvel romance. There's a whole bunch of stuff, so stay tuned. I will be doing these unboxings, going back to doing classic, still only 35-cent unboxings very soon. So hopefully you'll all tune in for that. Thank you all for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. Enjoy the rest of your day if you're in the US, UK, and the rest of the world. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to get on to work. Enjoy the work week. I will see you at the weekend for a mega members mail call show, if you remember. And I'll also see you for Back to the Drawing Board on Sunday if you're not a member, and you can see who wins the next sketch. And I'll see all of you, hopefully, next Monday morning here in Australia for the next Merry Monday Mail Call Show. And with that, take care of yourselves, everyone. And I will see you very, very soon indeed.